is going to come right after the verb. So, and we'll see this more and more and more. So if it's still like not feeling super solid, the more we see it in translation and just iteration upon iteration, the more familiar we'll get with that. So nominative boy, verb walks. Remind me your name.
Chris.
I'm sorry?
Chris?
Chris.
Yeah, I was just wondering, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but can a direct object be an infinitive? Like, because it turns into a verbal noun, they said? Like, does that?
That's a good question, and not quite. So an infinitive is just the infinitive form of a verb. All right. So I go all over the place. Well, I'll utilize this. I'll utilize all. I am, I being the subject, and being the intransitive verb. Same thing here. But this is what we would call a predicate adjective, right? Because again, well, also this is a predicate nominative adjective because it's kind of describing who I am. But in this case, this is an adjective describing what the dog is. Dog is good, dog is bad. Is not carrying any sort of directional quality though. It just is explaining what the dog is. So that's why it doesn't carry that across.
Could you explain what you mean by directional quality? Like a position in space?
No, I'm just thinking about etymologically with transitive, like it's carrying across the action from the subject to the direct object. You don't see how, and maybe that's just for me, like I'm just saying that in my way because that's kind of how I've sussed it out in my head. But there is no directional quality to this, right? There's nothing, there's nothing happening here. I am a teacher. It's just intensifying what it is. So that means that this would be nominative, and this would also be nominative. A girl, since we're in first declension, if it what it would look like in Latin is a puella, which is the nominative singular form. What I mean by kind of directional quality, Jaden, is if I want to do it over here, I love, it's very, very straightforward when you look at it. People think like, oh, humanities, Latin language, it's also like floofy. No, it's actually really matter of fact. So, if I have, I don't always do it like this, we'll do it for the first part, okay? So this is what we're gonna look at here. Person, first, third, in for my first form here, amo. However, when we go to the second one, we don't go amo plus the ending. So it goes from amo to ama plus the ending, which we'll get into in a second. But since I already have the base of the verb, I'm just going to put a bunch of amas here. Ama, 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 ama. And I'll go ahead and put that because S, third person singular. Amant. Remind me your name, sir?
Marcus.
Marcus. Thank you. Thank you, Marcus. How about first person plural? Amamus. Thank you, Chris. It's Chris, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Amatis. And then amant. So that's what verbs are. They are two, we kind of take the base plus the ending, we smush them together. Now we have the Latin there, but what does it mean? Well, let's figure it out. What's the pronoun for first person singular? Semantic. What's the verb? Love. So then, as you can see, it almost does this like cross-reference thing where it's like, and then the would be the love. What do you think about second person singular? You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Anyways, nobody knows oblivion references in here, I guess. You love. Third person singular. Initiate love. So it turns into loves. What's a plural of I? Actually, no, I'm not. Except for, no, you want to give this one a shot maybe?
Is it S?
sir, we des. And how would you translate that? How about third person singular? If you know it, just scream it out. I don't know your names yet, or else I would be calling on y'all, but just kidding. Let's do, all right. So one is laudare. What form of the verb is this? The infinitive. So this is how we're translating infinitives. Lauded means to praise. So if you have the infinitive form, it would be to praise. Laudat, how would we translate that though? Versus the infinite form of the verb, to infinity and beyond.